Okay, so good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm actually making this video with my first period class, so you're going to hear interaction with other students, but it is the same lesson that everybody is going to be doing. So at this point, everybody should have their 5-7 day one notes. If you don't have the 5-7 day one notes, please ask the sub for the 5-7 day one notes, okay? So 5-7 day one, here's what we're going to do. The directions say point slope, but we're actually going to learn point slope on Monday. We're going to use exclusively slope intercept form today. So I teach it with slope intercept form first, and then we come back and pick up point slope on Monday. So let's look at the first one here. It says, graph the line with the given slope that contains the given point. So now, normally we were given a y-intercept and the slope. Now we're given a point and the slope. So Monica, you're still going to graph this point first. Okay, so how do I graph this point? How do you graph the point 3, 1? Okay, and how do you graph the point 3, 1? What do you do? Right 3 up 1. And now the slope is 2. How do you make 2 a fraction? You put it over 1. So from this point, we do what, Monica? Up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. Or we could do a double negative and go down 2 and left 1. And there is my line. Okay? So it's the same thing. It is the same thing that we've been doing. It's just that now we're going from a given point instead of the y-intercept. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. And Mr. Parker's now joined the video. We are live. Ted, this is the point x, y. How do we graph the point x, y, Ted? Left 2 up 4. And then from this point, we do what?
You go right.
Remember, this is the what over the what?
Rise over the run.
Rise over the run.
Up 3, right 4.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I could go
double negative, right?
Left 4.
Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, okay. And there's that one. Very good. Okay, questions on B. All right, so doing those should be pretty easy. Given a point, given the slope, graph the line. It's just that now our point that we were given is not the y-intercept, but that's okay. That's okay. Questions on graphing. All right, the next part says, write an equation, and it's very important that you pay attention to the form that they want you to give. What form do they want us to use? Slope-intercept. Okay, what is slope-intercept form again? Y equals mx plus b. And what do we have to fill in for? M and b. So up to this point, I've given you, well, write the equation on a line that has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 4. And you guys wrote y equals 3x plus 4. But now I'm giving you, write the equation of a line that has a slope of 3 and it goes through the point -1, 4. Now be careful. The biggest mistake is you guys come in here and you say, well, the y-intercept is 4. Is the y-intercept 4? No. So that is not B. Okay, that is not B. We have some work to do here. We need 2 things. We need the slope and we need the y-intercept. Which one do I have right now, everybody? I have the slope. So I have to find which one? The y-intercept. Well, we know that what? Y equals mx plus b. This is m, this is x, this is y. Let's plug some values in. So let's go to Skylar. So Skylar, when you plug some values in, what are you going to plug in for y? 4. What are you going to plug in for m? 3. Good. How about x? And b is just b. We don't know b. We're trying to find b. So now do your math to solve this equation for b. You're going to do what? 3 times -1 is what? And how do you solve this equation for b? Add 3. And when you do, what do you get? 7 equals B. So now, guys, you have M, you have B. So can we go into y equals mx plus b? And what do you write? What do you have? Y equals what? Well, what's M? So y equals mx plus b. So y equals what? 3x plus, hey Tessa, 3x plus what? 7. Very good. What do you guys think of that? How do you prepare your comments?
I told the office I was going to be in.
Are you an A? Okay, perfect. Okay, questions on A. Okay, let's try another one. It's the same process.
Okay,
Kayla.
guys, we need, Kayla, it says put it in slope-intercept form. I would, till you get better at it, write the slope-intercept form there. We need slope and we need the y-intercept, okay? So what's my slope? We know that already. It's what? Okay, so we got this. Okay, we just got to find our y-intercept. So this is our slope. Okay, that's our m. If we got the point -3, 1, what's x? Or yeah, -3 is x, and what's 1? That's going to be y. So let's plug these points in this formula. Okay, so what's y? 1 equals, what's my slope? 1/3 times my x, -3. And I don't know b, guys, so we're going to solve for b. Okay, remember when you're multiplying by 1/3, it's just like dividing by 3. So what's 1/3 divided by 3? It's really -3 divided by 3, which is what, Kayla? -1 plus b. Okay, how do you solve for b now? Finish it off. Add 1 to both sides. Good. And what do you got? B equals 2. Now, do we have the two things we need to write it in slope-intercept form? We have the slope and we have the y-intercept, right? So Kayla, what am I going to write? I already wrote y equals 1/3 x plus 2. And there it is right there.
All right. Why don't you guys try C? Let's do this one, see what we think.
Just got a fever. I'll be right
All right. Those of you on the video, you should be working this out. Are you guys done? Okay, let's give it a shot. Who did I call? I called on Janessa. I don't think haven't been called on yet. Have you, Janessa? Okay, so Janessa, what's your slope? We know M. What's M?
1. -1.
-1. So we need what? We need B. We don't know B, right? So as Mr. Parker said, we could come over here. We know y equals mx plus b. We got to fill in for what? M and b. Which one do you know right now? So y equals -1x plus, well, I don't know if it's a plus or not, so I'm just going to leave that. We got to leave it blank. Okay, we're going to fill that in a minute. So let's go ahead and keep going. So we need to find b. So we're going to go into y equals mx plus b. And this is m, this is x, this is y. What'd you do? And if anybody noticed something, I'll be with you in a minute, but go ahead.
Y equals 1.
Y is not 1, y is
No, sorry. 9.
equals, what's m?
-1.
Times
0.
What's -1 times 0?
-1.
Oh, careful. Anything times 0 is what?
0.
So what's B?
9.
Guys, did we know that? What's definition of the y-intercept? Let what? X be 0. Did I give you B to start with? Didn't I really give you B? I just didn't call it the y-intercept. So be careful. If I give you X is 0, here 0 whatever, that point is the y-intercept. So we had B. I just didn't say it was the y-intercept. So I put what here on this? I put -1x what? Plus 9. And I'm done. Now, -1x is the same as -x plus 9. So you will see it written like that in a textbook, and that's okay.
Guys, that's the first thing. If we're given a point and we have to write in slope-intercept form for giving a slope, make sure this isn't the y-intercept, so you have to do all the work, right? If it's a y-intercept, what's going to be x? 0. So catch it next time so you don't have to do all that work.
Yeah. We were done from the beginning. Y equals -1x plus 9. Done. All right. Well, how about this one? Now we got all kinds of work. Because, Jake, what do we need to write an equation of a line? We need what? We need
the slope,
and
the
y-intercept,
Yeah.
right? Did I give you either one of them?
no,
No. So we need to find both of those. Which one are you going to find first?
the slope,
Good. What is the slope formula, just to remind us since it's been a little while?
y equals mx plus b.
Oh, that's slope-intercept form. How do you find m? Y
y2 minus y1
over.
x2 minus x1.
Perfect. So go ahead and plug those numbers in. And what did you get for your slope? What are you going to get for your slope? Oh, I went too high. What do we get? We're going to plug in what?
1 minus 7
Over.
2 minus -1,
Which is really what?
2 plus 1,
Good. So it's 1 minus 7 over 2 plus 1. What's 1 minus 7?
-6,
Over
3,
3. And what is -6 over 3?
-2.
So my slope is -2. So I got one of the things I need. Now what do you have to find? We need to find what? We found M, now we have to find B. Well, guys, here's the thing. We know the slope. The slope is -2. Pick one of the points to work with. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Now, I'm going to pick the one that I think is easier to work with. Jake, which one do you think is easier to work with? -1, 7 or 2, 1?
2, 1.
Yeah, because there's no what? There's no negative. So work smarter, not harder. Pick 2, 1. Very good. So we're going to go into y equals mx plus b. What are you going to plug in for y? Jake?
Oh, wait. 1
Equals?
2, wait, no. -2, x,
Well, what's x? 2
yeah,
plus b. What's -2 times 2?
4,
Watch your sign.
-4.
-4. And now what do you do to solve it for b?
Add 4 to the other side,
And what do you get for b?
5,
So we have m, we have b. What's your equation? Y equals what? What's m?
-2,
X.
x, plus 5.
Good. Remember, when you go back to write your final answer, the only thing you're substituting back in for is m and b. Okay, m and b. Questions? What do you guys think about this? Because the video's on, they're really quiet. Okay. All right, let's try B. Let's try B. Natalie.
Natalie, what do we need to get? We need to get M and what? B, right? So we need to get slope first, right? So what am I going to write?
M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Okay, so what do you want to plug in?
10 minus -2 over
Which turns to what? 10 minus a -2, which turns to what?
plus 2.
Plus 2 over what?
3 minus -2.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. X's, 3 minus what? 1. Okay, go ahead. 12 over 2, which simplifies to what? So our slope is 6, right? Emily, which one do you want to choose? We need to choose an X and a Y, right? Does it matter which point you choose? Here or here? It doesn't matter, right? Which one do you want to work with? Which one do you want to work with? 310? Okay, why don't we work with that? Okay, so this is going to be our X, this is going to be our Y. We need to get B now, right? So we need to sub everything in our equation of this, sub everything in but B. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what's it going to be? 10 equals what?
6 times 3 plus 3.
Let's see. 6 times 3, very good. 6 times 3 plus B. Nice job. Okay, what's 6 times 3?
18.
Okay, so we got 10 equals 18 plus B. Go ahead.
Subtract 18 plus 5.
Mm-hmm. And what do you get for B?
-8.
Nice job. So we have our B and we have our slope. We have our y-intercept and our slope. So how am I going to write that in slope-intercept form? So our slope was 6 and our y-intercept was -8. So what am I going to write? Y equals what?
Y equals 6x minus 8.
Well, not minus a negative, just -8. Because if you go minus a negative, that would turn it to plus. And there we go.
All right, we're going to skip the last one, the last example here, and jump to the word problem, okay? So it says, the cost to stain a deck is a linear function of the deck's area. The cost to stain 100, 250, and 400 square feet are shown in the table. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that represents the function, then find the cost to stain a deck that is 75 square feet. Okay. So the first thing it wants you to do is write an equation in slope-intercept form. What do we need to write an equation in slope-intercept form? We need what? Slope and the y-intercept. In order to find the slope, we need what? 2 points. So Avery, you just pick any 2 points to work with. This is the point 100, 150. You have the point 250, 375.50, or 400 and 525. What 2 points do you want to work with?
150 and 525.
So 100 and 150, and then 400 and 525. So it has to be 2 points. So what are we going to find first, Avery? The slope. How do you find the slope using these values?
Plug 400.
Okay, now careful. Y's go first.
525
Minus.
400.
Okay, careful. This is x1, y1,
150.
x2, y2. So 150 over 400
and 100.
minus 100. Okay, so what's 525 minus 150?
375.
Over
300.
And what does that reduce to as a fraction?
125.
Okay, that's 1.25. So what does that reduce to as a fraction?
One and 1/4.
Okay, but we're not going to use 1 and 1/4. Here's how would you change 1 and 1/4 into an improper fraction? You do what? 4 times 1 plus 1, which is what? 5/4. Okay, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so there's your slope. So now we know M. M is 5/4. So Avery, pick one of the points to work with. Now you only need 1 point. Which one do you want to work with now? Which of these 2 points do you want to work with?
100 and 150.
Okay, and now we got to find B. So we're going to go into y equals mx plus b. What do you want to plug into y?
100.
Okay, this is the point x, y.
150.
Okay, m,
100.
m,
1.
5/4. X is
100.
plus b. Okay, I'm going to give poor Avery a break. She's like ready to be done. Okay, Sophia's not here. Darius, what'd you get when you multiplied 5/4 times 150? 125. So you have 150. I'm sorry, 5/4 times 100. You got 125. Now what do? Subtract 125, and what did you get for B? 25 equals B. Okay, so now we got M, we got B. So what's the equation of your line? Very good. Are you guys cool with that? Finding the equation. Now we're still not done. You guys at first said, write an equation in slope-intercept form. That's what I just did. Now, find the cost for 75 square feet. So everybody, what do I do for the cost at 75 square feet? Just plug in 75 for what? So everybody, I should hear your calculators going to town. How much does it cost? How much did it cost? $118 and what? 75 cents. Okay, your homework tonight is page 345. Is that what it says up there, guys? Numbers 1 through 3 all, and 7 through 19 all. Okay, so go ahead and get started on that, and have a great afternoon.